Hi, my name is Jaime Bellmeyer, and I wrote the validates blacklist gem for Ruby on Rails. It's a Ruby gem, and it's hosted on GitHub, and I just like to play around with it a little bit and show you how it works. So we're going to start by just creating a Rails application. We'll go into the directory, and we're going to edit the configuration, the environment file, to require the gem. This is new in 2.1, and it's really cool because it lets you require the gems here, and then they're always with you wherever you install your Rails app. The gems don't have to be installed locally on that box. They're included within the Rails project. So I'm going to start with Bellmeyer validates blacklist. That's the actual gem name, the full gem name. The library is validates blacklist. The source, of course, is on GitHub. GitHub's gem hosting. And finally, we're going with version 0.1.7, which is the one that has all the goodies we're going to play around with today. And that's it for environment.rb. The next thing we need to do is actually use this file. We're going to run gems install, rake gems install, and if I didn't have the gem installed already, it would install it for me on my local system. The next thing we do is unpack it, and that moves it into the directory, into the vendor gems directory. So now it's part of this Rails application. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pretend that there is a high school girl named Heather who makes all of her friends apply for friendship on her Groovy Rails application. So we're going to create potential friends here with name, email, and age. We're going to go ahead and migrate that to get that table into the database. And we're going to go into the model itself and just add the little hook. This is all that you need to use validation, or to use blacklist validation. Validates blacklist. That means that it's going to check the blacklist file whenever this model is validated for any gotchas. The next thing we're going to do is generate the blacklists themselves. Now what this does is actually create a blacklist file for every model. And it won't overwrite existing models, so you can run it as many times as you want. We'll go inside here, and we'll actually create it. First thing we want is name. We want to blacklist Stinky Pete. He's an old friend, but we don't like him anymore. Then we want to blacklist Veronica because, well, she knows what she did. And we're going to blacklist Stinky Pete's email address as well. And also anyone else that uses AOL, because AOL is just not cool anymore. We'll also blacklist anyone that is under the age of 14. You can do this easily. So this shows you how you can blacklist according to numbers. And we'll do anyone that is over 25 as well. So you can see you can blacklist according to strings, according to regular expressions, like we did with AOL.com, and with numbers, number ranges. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and try a couple here in Script Console. First thing we want to do is see if Stinky Pete truly is blacklisted. Alright, we're creating him. Check if he's valid. No, he's not. Let's see why. Oh, is not allowed. That is the default error message if you don't specify an error message. Let's try Veronica. Remember, we did specify an error message for her. And that error is the name of a backstabber. There we are. Remember, this will appear as name is the name of a backstabber when you do your Rails validations and you show the errors on the page. So now let's check out the email address. This is going to use the regular expression. Let's see, is it valid? No. Why? Because they're a member of AOL, just as we specified. So we know the regular expressions work. Now we're going to add a blacklist on the fly. And this is actually going to go into the YAML file, grab everything, add this into it, and then resave the YAML file. So this is actually editing the YAML file. So you could do that programmatically. I chose not to store these blacklists in a database because I didn't want the complication, but I did want you to still be able to do it programmatically. We can see that Elvis has in fact left the building, and we can unblacklist him as well, because maybe he's a cool guy after all. Alright, now that that's done, and I need to put some better return messages in there for that, we'll check if it's valid. And it's not. And this is a mistake of mine. You might be wondering why it's not valid. Well, let's go check. There's nothing on name. So what seems to be the problem? Why is Elvis still blacklisted? Well, if you remember, we didn't create a new friend called Elvis. We actually changed the name, and we still have him blacklisted because of bob@aol.com as the email address. So we'll go in and we'll unblacklist that email address, which is just as simple as before. We specify what we want to unblacklist, what attribute, and then the value. Then it's done, so we can check again. And now we have no more validation errors. And that's how it works.